Lyst is an independent fashion platform. Please, Chris, come on stage. Not the first time at NOAH, I think many, many years. Thank you.
Hello, so my name is Chris Morton. I'm the founder and CEO of Lyst, and we are creating the platform that the world's fashion shoppers use to decide what to buy. Now, the business was based on this insight that customer needs were not changing, but the way that those needs were being addressed through digital was radically changing, and this was best evidenced in how inspiration moved from the magazines like Vogue much more towards social media. And as more and more stores and brands came online, the question was, what is the online equivalent of the shopping mall, of Bond Street? And this was the opportunity, a very sizable opportunity that we wanted to pursue. So our mission is, to create this leading platform that the world's customers, the world's fashion shoppers use to decide what to buy. If we go back, maybe for a little bit of a history lesson, in 2000, the industry really started with, the Net-a-Porters of the world, ASOS and YOOX coming online. In 2010, it was just 1%, and it was already getting very complex for customers. And so we wanted to help the customers navigate that complexity. Now we're at 10% and really accelerating. This is like the last major industry to be shifting online, and the leaders will be defined in the next sort of 5 or 6 years. Again, this model is not something which we have invented. We've seen this play out, in music with Spotify, with TV, with let's say the Netflix models, in meta-search as well. That the idea that if you can have the largest inventory, you can create the best customer experience. So we have 4 customer promises that we obsess over. The first one is around ensuring customers have access to the largest inventory of fashion items globally, and we are the market leader here. You can see the scale of difference against other people, but these are typically retailers or brands in the space, and in fact, all of these companies are partners of ours, and so we can offer this inventory, and we now work with pretty much everyone who sells fashion online, be it the brands directly, be it the sort of curators and boutiques, be it larger department stores and marketplaces. These are all partners that we're proud to count on the platform. And we're beginning to really move the needle for these partners. So, one of the largest fashion brands online, fashion brands in the world, we are driving about half of their sales in e-commerce in the UK, and I think in France as well. Not just the brands, with some of the large pure plays again in US. In Europe, beginning to send about 15-20% of revenue. So really, I think a very valued partner on behalf of the brands and retailers as well. The second customer promise we have is around price. Now, we never, ever change the pricing, but because we have this comprehensive view of all the items, we're able to show customers, the full range of prices relating to a product so they can make the best decision. But again, we never change the prices. Thirdly, we are a natively personalized experience, and this is in a way that is really, I think, unusual in the fashion world. So when you sign up to the app, you will go through an onboarding flow, you will tell us what you like in terms of brands and stores and ones you don't like, and then we can craft this unique experience to you. To give you an example, every day, 50,000 items come in stock on Lyst, and that is incredibly challenging to navigate through unless there's that lens of personalization. And I should also point out that our customers, they're really fashion lovers. They are not people who are sort of, let's say, farming out their fashion problem to a service that will help them make a good decision. These are people who engage and browse with fashion every day, and it's a minefield to navigate, which is why this personalized experience is critical for them. And then finally, when customers are searching and when they know what they want, which is fairly often, we want to make sure we can help them always find the perfect thing for them. And on top of the inventory that we have, we offer a lot of predictive models and machine learning to really help make that experience spot on for the customers. So about 80 million customers use the platform in the last year. You can see most of them are luxury shoppers, but we do span across the premium and a little bit of the aspirational side as well. And again, every day, the majority of them say they're interacting with fashion. We were focused on the US and UK as our primary markets until recently. We've just launched in about just almost a dozen new languages with local language and local inventory. And this is the global footprint. These are orders that we've had in the last 6 months. And we're not so strong in North Korea or Cuba, but give us time. But it's a pretty global footprint. Again, we had this customer obsession as one of our core values, and we really care about what our customers think about. So about 80% of our app users have recommended Lyst to at least one of their friends. And we also have like an NPS-like score, which a number of tech platforms use, and we're sort of in the same ballpark as where Slack are, where Spotify are, and we're very proud to be in such good company. So very strong love. As is typical with a platform that is in the luxury or has a strong luxury element, we have VICs, or very important customers. For the app, about half of our revenue comes from these customers, and these customers are using the app 25 times a month, so almost daily, which again, for an e-commerce platform, we're exceptionally proud of. And we see these customers, every day seeing what's new. Fashion commerce is a bit, it's very entertainment-like. When we interview our customers, they tell us, they're in the back of a taxi, they are with a glass of wine at home after a busy day, and they're just browsing the Lyst store just after their Instagram feed. And so, we're really excited to have this almost daily behavior. And then, when those journeys do result in purchase, obviously it's not 25 purchases a month. That would be fantastic, but it's almost monthly. And so that's kind of the model we have with the VICs, and it's a $550 AOV and mostly full price. So quite a valuable customer, driving a lot of engagement on the platform. The app has been growth has been accelerating, and we're not really spending any money. And I would also, that when we are spending money, we have like this blended CAC across the whole company of around $10, which I think is something we're, again, very proud of compared to where the industry acquisition costs lie. And that means that we're basically profitable in terms of acquisition on first order, or certainly 2x in the first 30 days. So quite healthy unit economics, and that's driven by the customer value that we have, and also driven by the inventory we have. Having this really large inventory in fashion allows us to acquire customers in let's say, ways that are not as competitive as if you were a small retailer or a boutique, for example. And then finally, we have some investors. We have fashion investors, very pleased to be working with LVMH. We have some technology investors like Excel and Balderton, and they have been really great help for us in achieving everything we've achieved so far. And that is it. So I'll be around for the next hour if you want to have a chat, or you can email me on the email below. Thank you very much.